You're watching NBA Now here on Chat Sports. Harrison Graham, Jimmy Crowther with you. Jimmy's been breaking down his top 10 prospects for the 2020 NBA Draft at all 10 positions. Today, power forward. Stay tuned for centers because that will complete that series here. Let's start here at number 10, Yoeli Childs.
Yes, kid coming out of BYU, played all 4 years there, and when I say he's developed into a modern-day big man, I mean he can shoot the rock and he can play either forward position. Listen, in today's NBA, we really could just break it down into guards, wings, and big men at this point, but Yoeli Childs would be that tweener of a big man or a wing because he can do both of them, but also, the dude is strong. I mean, he can bully around some smaller forwards in college. I think he'll be able to do that in the NBA as well. Now, the reason he's probably going to go in the late second round to potentially undrafted is that he's not a very good defender right now, and he looks a little awkward on the court at times as he's not that fluid of an athlete, but his shooting and his NBA-ready build, I think will get him picked somewhere in the second round as my number 10 power forward here on this list.
Number 9, we got Lamine Diane. Good luck, Mitchell Renz, pronouncing that when we come out with our NBA pronunciation guide for the NBA Draft. Stay tuned for that. You got him at number 9 out of Cal State Northridge?
Cal State Northridge, a.k.a. CSUN, baby. Listen, I wanted to put Lamine Diane so much higher on this list. The problem is, he doesn't play anybody at Cal State Northridge,
True.
Believe it or not. They're not playing the Kentuckys or the Memphises of the world. But NBA comp for you, Harrison? Pascal Siakam. I mean, he plays just like him, although the kids he was playing against looked like kids that I played against on JV for all 4 years that I played JV basketball. So you see the production that he had at Cal State Northridge, and it speaks volumes. 26 points per game, 10 rebounds, an elite defender at 2 blocks per game. Didn't have a great shot. It was about 30% average for his both years at Northridge. And also, as a sophomore, he's going to be 23 years old the night of the draft. So he's a lot older prospect, but I think he's a guy that could stick around the G League for a couple years and then make the jump, much like a Christian would if he develops well.
Who is the most underrated player in the NBA Draft? I think Jimmy might go with Diane there. Let us know who is the most underrated player in this year's draft. We will make this the pinned comment on today's video, so go ahead and scroll on down and reply right there. Number 8, you got Paul Reed Jr. out of DePaul.
Yeah, I really like Paul Reed. I think he's a kid that could sneak into the late first round if he tests well and if he has good enough interviews. He runs the floor. He crashes the glass like bigger than he is because he's really not that big, which is the reason that he's not that good of a defender in the post. He got bullied around by bigger players in college, which kind of hurt his draft stock. Another problem that I have with him is he hasn't shown that he can extend his range beyond the paint or mid-range, but as an overall defender, maybe not in the post, but overall, he is really good. Like, he was chasing around some 2 guards at some points at college, and I think that'll serve. Yes, I think that'll serve him very well. Another kid that has the length and the ability to run the floor in transition with the NBA at the NBA level. So I'm high on Paul Reed, but unfortunately, I just think he is a little too small to play power forward at the next level.
At number 7, you got XAVIER Tillman Sr. out of Michigan State.
Yeah, we got a few juniors and seniors coming up on this list. I like XAVIER Tillman purely as a defender. If you're just drafting some guy for defense in the early second round or maybe even in the late first round that he can sneak into, this is the guy you want to go with. Now, not an incredible athlete, doesn't jump very high, but his length, his NBA or his build that he has right now, and just his overall timing, which leads to the skill that he has on defense, speaks volumes about how good of a defender he is. Also, such a good finisher. He crashes the boards hard, as you could see in his junior season, at Michigan State. Scored 14 points and pulled down 10 rebounds. Also, blocking 2 shots per game, not having that big of a vertical, is a big deal for XAVIER Tillman. The kid is smart. He was around college for a while. If he was coming out as an earlier prospect and put up the numbers like he did last year, he would definitely be a lock to go in the first round. I think he slips to the early second round, but I think he's more than willing. You should definitely take a risk on him because I like what I saw out of him at Michigan State.
And the production constantly improved, which is always a good sign. We got NBA face coverings available at chatsports.com/NBA mask. A lot of these, Jimmy, up to 30 off. We got solo ones all the way up to 3 and 4 packs, including this Mavericks 3-pack. A lot of these new 2-packs, Jimmy, that they've just released over at Fanatics are on sale as well at chatsports.com/NBA mask. How about this Knicks face coverings? Hey, their team stinks, but these masks, great look.
Blocks out the smell of the stink.
Exactly. Get one of those if you're a Knicks fan. Chatsports.com/NBA mask. Check the comments, check the description. We got this Celtics 2-pack available as well. Not just the ones we're showing you. We got solo packs all the way up to 4-packs for all 30 NBA teams. It's at that link, chatsports.com/NBA mask. Let's get to number 6 here. Vernon Carey Jr., a player that I watch a lot at Duke, put up big numbers.
Puts up big numbers. The only problem I have with him is I don't know where he fits at the NBA. Is he a power forward? Is he a center? Now, obviously in the NBA, it's a bit more positionalist at this point, but not a very explosive athlete, but could be a guy that is able to stretch the floor at the next level, which is a reason he will get drafted late first round, early second round. Thing is, he does play back to the basket a lot. He's not really like a playmaking center that you're going to run your half-court offense through.
That reeks Jahlil Okafor to me.
Very Jahlil Okafor-esque.
Better shooter, though.
Better shooter, and he blocked shots pretty well in Duke as well at 1.6 per game. 38% from 3. That's pretty invaluable from your big man, although he didn't take that many. 18 points per game. College skill, all there. NBA skill, I don't know if it's ready to translate. Again, only spent 1 year at college, so it could be a project as he's just a freshman coming out of Duke.
Where do you have him going? Mid-late first round, like 20s? Maybe?
I think late first, early second is more so where I have him.
Okay, so that's our 10 through 6. We get to our top 5 power forward prospects in just a minute. But who will win Rookie of the Year in 2021? Maybe it's one of these power forward prospects. Jimmy, who's your way too early pick?
I think you're going to see him at number 1 on this list, so I'm not going to say his name.
So
but we're going to get there very, very soon. But let me know who you guys got in the comment section.
All right, let's go top 5 here. Zeke Nnaji out of Arizona.
I like this guy a lot. He was literally, statistically, the best transition big man in the NCAA. When he ran the floor and when he got out in transition, he finished 83% of the shots that he took in transition, which speaks really, really well. The problem with him is that he has great length. He has an incredible motor. He finishes great hair, finishes everything above the rim. So you would be like, oh, this kid always gets up off the ground to block shots. Not so much. He gets up for offense, doesn't get up so much for defense, which is why I have him one spot above Jalen Smith, because I went back and forth on who I had at 4 and 5, one spot below Jalen Smith, which is why I had him back and forth at 4 and 5. But I went with Smith because he's got the defensive potential and he can actually shoot the ball.
For you Dallas Cowboys fans watching, this is the real Jalen Smith, the good Jalen Smith out of Maryland. He's your number 4 power forward prospect, more of a complete player or prospect, according to you, Jimmy.
He is more of a center that you want in today's game. He's more of a guy that can shoot the ball right now. He plays that pick and roll / pick and pop type center that Zeke Nnaji isn't ready to do. Nnaji rolls well. He doesn't pop well because you see the 3-point percentage. Jalen Smith, 37%, whereas Zeke Nnaji only shot 29%. Jalen Smith also took about 3 per game. Zeke Nnaji, like half per game, so not very good from him.
So Smith can play some small ball 5, or he can play some 4 in the NBA in your eyes?
Yeah, and you say small ball 5, he's still 6'11". Yeah. So he's big, but he lined up at the forward position. I'll tell you what, Jalen Smith staying an extra year after Bruno Fernando left Maryland did wonders for his career. And also, he blocked shots at an incredible rate. I'm very high on Jalen Smith. I still think he goes mid to late 20s, probably. I have him right now going about 26 to Boston, which I think is proper evaluation of him. But I think some teams going to be pretty happy with Jalen Smith in the future.
We'll get to our top 3 in just a moment, but hey, we're talking about the NBA draft, going through our power forward prospects, and guess what? We're going to be live for the entire NBA draft on November 18th. Jimmy's putting his big board together as we speak. We're fired up. We're ready to go. We're going to be live probably an hour and a half before, all the way through the NBA draft. We'll stay live for winners and losers, draft grades, all of that stuff. It's going to be a fun and long night on November 18th. So join us. All you got to do is subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of it. We'll have a couple more mock drafts leading up. Jimmy just released his 2-round mock draft, but the real thing, November 18th. So mark your calendars and subscribe today. Top 3, let's get it going here. Precious Achiuwa out of Memphis.
Bless you, number 1. But listen, high energy big man. You watch him on the court and you want to go run through a brick wall because he crashes every single missed shot. He can play the pick and roll. He's a lob threat every single time. Now, his jump shot, when you look at the form, you look at his hands, you look at the top, it's pretty good. But his feet are always planted very oddly on his jumper, which is kind of made for him to miss some weird shots that he should be making. And when it comes to defense, because he is probably one of the top 5 athletes in this draft and he can jump so well and he has the length, it makes up for the fact that he doesn't move his feet all that well. You know what's great for Precious Achiuwa? The fact that James Wiseman got suspended from basketball at Memphis, that's the reason. Yes, that's the reason he put up 16 points and 11 rebounds per game at Memphis. I've got him going just outside the lottery, and if that three-point shot comes around, I think he could be probably a top 10 talent in this year's draft. I'm excited to see where he goes and what team gets him, because someone that needs a power forward next to a true big man is going to be pretty happy with Precious Achiuwa.
Top 2 here. We'll get to number 1 in a second, but number 2, Aleksej Pokusevski. Can't wait for Mitch to pronounce that one as well.
I can't either. Good pronunciation there, Harrison. You can call him Poku for short, whatever you want to call him. And I wanted, so here was my thing on Aleksej Pokusevski. I, at times, had him at 1, and at times I had him closer to, like, number 5. Because every time I watch him, it's like, holy moly, this kid has the skills and the dribble play of a Kevin Durant, but he looks like a skeleton playing out on the court. He's super skinny, a legitimate 7-footer, but he weighs 195 pounds.
That's unbelievable.
So he's got to hit the gym if he wants to make it in the NBA. Might be a bit of a project, but definitely a lottery talent this year. I found this scouting report on Aleksej Pokusevski, and I think it perfectly broke down exactly how he plays. Pokusevski on the court looks like that kid in 6th grade who just hit his growth spurt before everyone else, but hasn't put on the weight yet. At 7 feet tall, weighing 195 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan, Poku is not your typical big man. He moves like a wing, protects the rim like a center, and shoots like a guard. I mean, talk about a unicorn. That is a unicorn right
poor
there.
Poor man's Porzingis.
I want to call him
poor man's.
I want to call him Porzingis, but yeah, I'm not ready to go there quite yet. But I'm 100% taking this kid in the lottery. I'm even kind of getting close to saying I'd take him probably top 12, top 10.
High upside.
I'm getting high on him, yeah, for sure.
We'll get to number 1 in just a second, but who is the best international prospect? Deni Avdija, Killian Hayes, Aleksej Pokusevski, or Theo Maledon? Let us know in the comments. Give us 10 seconds on each player so our viewers know a little bit about these guys.
Deni Avdija, safest player of these international prospects. Aleksej Pokusevski, I think, has the highest ceiling of these prospects. Killian Hayes, think a French D'Angelo Russell, and Theo Maledon. He's got a little ways to go, but I think he could be a long-term project. I'd rank Deni and Pokusevski 1 and 2.
And number 1 on your top 10 power forward prospects, maybe the safest player in this draft, Obi Toppin out of Dayton.
Yeah, listen, this is the kid. I hinted at it earlier. I've got him winning Rookie of the Year because I think this is the guy that's going to be the most NBA ready because number 1 is body, number 2 is athleticism, and number 3, he was the best basketball player in college at Dayton in a very shortened season. I think he can also play that small ball 5 the way the NBA is trending. This was a guy that stayed 2 years in college when, you know, really, he could have been picked last year in the 2nd round, but he's like, no, I'm going to stay. And now he's secured himself as a top probably 5 pick in this year's draft. You can see the difference just in these 2 pictures that you see on screen. He hit the weight room, and you're like, Jimmy, his three-point shot dropped from 52% to 39%. What the heck happened? When he was shooting 52% freshman year, he was taking legitimately 0.3 per game. Now it's jumped up to about 1.9 three-pointers per game. He is making them consistently, and he has shown that he truly deserves to be a top 5 pick in this year's draft.
Can we get Pokusevski on the Obi Toppin hit the gym plan because, wow, it looks like he put on about 50 pounds from his freshman to sophomore year. Maybe Poku can get that going. You got Toppin as your number 1 prospect, probably the best player in college basketball last year. Only 22 years old, still has some major upside as well. So to quickly recap your top 10, go through it one more time for us, Jimmy.
Yeah, number 1, I do have Obi Toppin. I feel very, very good about that pick. Aleksej Pokusevski out of Serbia coming in at number 2, followed by Precious Achiuwa. I think between that top 3, you've got a little bit of a drop-off to Jalen Smith and Zeke Nnaji at 4, and then another sizable gap before you get to 6 and find Vernon Carey Jr. I like XAVIER Tillman at 7. Paul Reed Jr. runs the floor well. Got him at 8. Lamine Diane, the kid to watch out for, might go undrafted, but he's got the talent level of a top, a first-round pick. And then Yoeli Childs, the sharp-shooting big man out of BYU that can play the 3 or the 4 at the next level.
Who is your favorite prospect in this year's draft? Favorite player in the 2020 NBA draft? 3 weeks away, less than 3 weeks away from the draft. So let us know, who is your favorite player in this year's draft? Let us know in the comments.